Super. Okay, we have this section in the text about 2.5 pages about ideologies in the modernism period, and we're going to break it down for you right now. So take a listen.
Yeah, the period of the modernism started in the 20th century, and at that time, a lot of people from Britain began experimenting with new ideas and new ideologies. After the two world wars, England was in an unstable state, and the people were shaken out of their comfort zone, and because of people had no foundations, they started to experiment with new ways to cultivate their lifestyles. Um, uh, yeah, and because of the technology, also people were people were yeah, people were both some were enthusiastic and some were skeptical, so that created a kind of split in the society or a chaos, um, which also made uh, the people of Britain uh, uncertain or in an unstable state. Yeah, so some of there were a lot of different ideologies in the society, and the different ideologies and beliefs were shaken at the time of the modernism uh, because of all the ideas and ideologies. The liberalism was the most common ideology in England in the modernism. The idea of being free and the fact that everyone is the architect of his own fortune, uh, like in America. Uh, yeah, but the philosophy of communism was winning forward in Russia, which led to the misbelief in the common ideology in England, especially because their economy after World War One. Um, at the time, a common theme the writers focused on was the loss of tradition because, um yeah, there were many new technologies upcoming, and yeah, everything changed in a short period. Um, so yeah, the society was unstable and people were experimenting.
This led to nihilism. Because of the constantly new discoveries in science and the freedom of the new philosophies, led to nihilism. Nihilism was a very central problematic in the modernism. The nihilism is a philosophy that denies the existence of any moral, and by that also deny the humankind to have any meaning or value, that we are all here by coincidence. The world is in chaos because of the nihilism. There's no longer a greater purpose with life, and people are desperately searching for some meaning in life.
Yeah, this nihilism inspired many writers and poets and also artists, and in their work, they kind of painted that this randomness, you can call it, because there was no meaning with life, and in society, uh, this nihilism really ruled, and and the poets and writers tried to make this uh, in their artworks as much as they could. Sigmund Freud made this iceberg that you can see on screen right now, and it's 1/8 above the water and 7/8 below the water, and it means that many of the things that is written is kind of hidden between the lines, and you have to, or that way you kind of as a reader, story. Yeah, you need to look between the lines to get the full meaning or go into the depth to to understand the text you're reading or understand the painting you're seeing, and um, and yeah, these nihilism and this nihilism inspired all these writers and poets, as I said, and they used this linguistic technique of a stream of consciousness, where the plot is sometimes very difficult to see, and the meaning is kind of disappearing. Yeah, and when this after World War One, England had a lot of loss of lives, and some of their cities were in ruins or had a huge damage. Yeah, yeah, and this meant that writers and poets and other creative people began to immigrate to other countries like France and Ireland and USA, where, for example, Paris became a much more important place for this new writing and new modern style of painting and writing became a headquarter for this place, and the English writers immigrated to Paris, for example, and there they got a lot of they got inspired by the Frenchmen, and that they had a much brighter lifestyle, and somehow they came through all the wars and still ended up being brighter as than Britain, and there was somehow something most poets and writers wanted to take into their works, artworks and such, because it was a very unnormal, or something you didn't see every day or didn't expect, because you thought, people thought that England was ahead in life, if you can say it that way. And this picture is about the British Empire, which ruled about a quarter of the whole world's land area.
So a sum up would be the Great Britain is in chaos because of after World War One, the economy was very bad. So people started asking questions about the society and the philosophies and all that. So it was a world in chaos at that time.
Mm-hmm. And some would say it is negative, of course, because it's chaos, but some would say it's positive because it made England or the British nation move out from its normal values and traditions and begin to be more modern and have new ways of life and lifestyles. And some people really like that, but others were very skeptical about these machines and new lifestyles. So that sums it up pretty much. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, så finder